Got two folks on the call from Rensselaer Society of Engineers. One myself, Don Toma, and Mark Vince. Just a little background: I'm class of 1983, long time ago. Not a computer science major, but an aerospace engineering major, aeronautical engineering major. I founded and run a company down here in Washington, D.C. that launched a network of satellites to provide a global air traffic surveillance capability for the FAA and other air traffic organizations around the world. So it's a company called Arion. But I've been involved in startup companies really since early in my career, and you wonder how that ties into what we're going to talk about here with Rensselaer Society of Engineers. But believe me, it'll connect at that point. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on what we're up to. We were introduced to WES by the Severino Center, Jason Kruzovich, Dr. Kruzovich over at the Severino Center. He's been helping us rethink something that we're calling RSE 3.0. So just a little bit of background on RSE. The Rensselaer Society of Engineers has been part of the Rensselaer community since really over 150 years at this point. We were formed in 1866 as a scientific society. In 1873, it changed the name to the Rensselaer Society of Engineers, really to represent our unique relationship and only relationship with RPI. You may have seen the facility that we have. It's over across from the Union. It was a facility built in 1924 specifically for a student clubhouse, if you will. It's on the National Register of Historic places, and we've got again a long history of very old and famous people, as well as some recent classes that have been inducted to the Hall of Fame for the things that they've done and with kind of their education at RPI. We also operate a foundation that manages 4 scholarships with RPI. And just to put it in perspective, we're only located in Rensselaer. We have around 800 living alumni members, and just to show kind of commitment there, we had 25% of those members attend celebration, if you will, on the campus back in 2016. So, highly engaged alumni from that perspective. But why are we here? We realize we've got a long history with Rensselaer, and we want to continue that history. And we're thinking about changing the structure of the organization into a new type of organization. And we've called this organization RSE 3.0. Just you guys will get this, being coders. The first 1.0 was the original scientific society. The organization up until now has been a social fraternity at that point. We're now looking at, and we call that RSE 2.0. We're now looking at to transform it into something different, to move away from that social fraternity organization into something that's really, we hope, going to be of interest to students and be much more of a beneficial part of the Rensselaer community. So what is our vision for RSE 3.0? We're looking at, as I've said, moving away from the fraternity model, a sorority model, to a new type of organization at Rensselaer. You're really keeping some of the benefits that we think are helpful to building skills and community within Rensselaer. So it would be a student-run organization. It would be a living collaboration facility that would have both residential, non-residential members, really looking at enabling an environment where students can pursue kind of their own interests and passions, in a productive, supportive community. We're looking at providing a way to help students develop into well-rounded, academically and professionally and personally successful future technology leaders. And one of the things that we find when you think of a community approach to this, it does create lifelong ties and very meaningful ties between the students, the alumni, and the faculty, in a way that kind of transcends not just the 4 years that or more that you're at the university, but as you go into your professional careers. So what would the mission of RSE 3.0 be? As I said, what we want to do is create a supportive community really around four initial pillars. One is a set of programs focused on supporting the academic success of the students. Two, a professional and career and personal development theme and set of activities that supports that part of the mission. A key part of what we find interesting in our discussions with faculty members, with alumni, and we're trying to get this type of feedback from students, is there seems to be a lot of interest in an innovation theme, and that innovation theme can run from the gambit of entrepreneurship, of starting a new venture, et cetera, or it could just be innovation in a given technical field, new product development, new concepts and capabilities. And then lastly, a key part that we think is important is what I'd call the social responsibility part of it. There's a lot of interest in alumni and the current students that we've worked with in looking at ways to support items like sustainability and philanthropy, and that would be a part and a mission of the organization. Now, this is a student-run organization, obviously, and interests change over time. So even though these are the kind of posited or hypothesis of the initial themes, this will really be driven by the interests of the students and the passions and that they'd like to pursue, and would kind of change over time. But you can see it's a lot different. It's really focused on professional academic success, and less and not at all around what I would call the standard fraternity sorority social focus. So what would be some of the key elements of this new type of organization? First, the location of a central campus facility we think is very can be a big asset to the organization. As I said, it'll move away from a residential facility, still have some residential component to it, but look at more of non-residential members, collaboration space, maker space, ways that in a place where students can get together to pursue various activities and interests that they may have. We view it as the membership to be really a diverse and eclectic membership of students from all the schools that can come together to really pursue things that are of interest to them. And that multidisciplinary approach, we think is important, especially when you think about some of the other aspects of the area. I mentioned before the professional career development aspects of it. Our view is that combined with a very clear alumni mentoring and networking component to it will provide a very good basis for people to develop their kind of professional and career interests, but also look at ways to network with the broader Rensselaer alumni to support their kind of future career internships and career development. You'll see that we've started this process in discussions with the Rensselaer faculty like Wes and others, and we think that the key part of this is going to be the collaboration with close collaboration with the school, both the faculty and administration, because this is a new type of organization. We think it could be a model for this type of organization. Incidentally, some of the initial research we did pointed us to a number of places, but one in particular is the Lassonde Center at the University of Utah. And it's a 400-person living collaboration center community that is focused entirely on innovation and entrepreneurship. It's a very interesting part. I've spoken personally to the director of that organization, and it really creates a lot of interest and not only interest, but what I'd call again this multidisciplinary way to bring people together to explore new things and innovations. We'll talk a little bit more about the innovation aspect of it. I think there's a lot of fun things that we could do there. a lot of interests from the Severino Center and working with us in that area. And then lastly, building in a clear theme and set of activities around sustainability and philanthropy. So what does that? What does all that really mean? What are the activities that we would want to do? And the initial list of areas that we thought would be of interest. I've spoken to the head of the career and the Center for Career and Professional Development. We just very early stage said there's a lot of collaboration we could do with them on career development forums, on exercises and ways to bring this into not just the RSE 3.0 organization, but to the broader Rensselaer community. We talked about ideas within the Severino Center of collaborating on, for example, an innovation and entrepreneurship conference that we could host at the school that supports the development of these ideas, as well as things like business plan competitions, etc. We've started initial discussions with the School of Architecture. The facility that we have is 100 years old. It's in relatively good shape, but it needs kind of updating, and we think that we'd want to update that facility to fit what I would call the new mission of the organization. And one thought is to work with the School of Architecture and Civil Engineering to determine how to create more sustainability features into the facility as a project that we'd run in cooperation with the School of Architecture and Engineering. Similarly, we talked to the Archer Center, and the Archer Center, as you know, provides a lot of resources for the students in terms of leadership development. And they mentioned they could partner with us also on helping build in some leadership themed activities into the organization that would be very helpful, we think. A key part of activities we think are what I would call the alumni networking element. You have a lot of you as students have a lot of responsibilities on your part for not only the summer arch, but for internships, career development. And we think that a very deliberate alumni networking capability and set of events would be very useful to support kind of your own professional development and career development. And then of course, things like academic support programs, alumni, and faculty mentoring for each of the members, and then repurposing the space of the facility to make it more conducive to collaboration amongst both live-in members, outside members. There's some very big space, good space in the facility that could be turned into maker space for new ventures, or just chill out space, with a central campus location for the members. So those are some of the ideas. This is an initial list, and you'll see what we're going to do from a next steps purpose. So as I mentioned, we've been engaging, obviously, as the alumni for over a year now in pulling this capability together. For example, we had a retreat just last Saturday with over 80 of the alumni members to talk about the planning for this. The thought would be to begin this transformation, if you will, in the fall of 2021. We've been actively engaged with the faculty and the administration in this transformation of the organization, and I've got a lot of good feedback on the items that you've heard as part of this presentation. Our next step is to really start engaging in a very detailed way to get students to get their feedback on the structure of this type of organization, the value that you think this would provide to the student experience, and really get what I'd call ground truth from current students on this type of organization. We've been using what's called the nonprofit business model canvas technique. This is, for those of you who do work with the Severino Center, this is a platform they look at for starting a new venture, for laying out the business model, if you will, and determining how best to get insights from the key stakeholders. We're currently working with Dr. Clint Ballinger at the Lally School and his class, Starting a New Venture. to engage the broader student body in what I call this research and market research activity to gain good input from students and faculty on the approach that we're doing. So that's it. I guess the request here. I know that just by the fact that you're in this the RCOS program, a lot of you have interests in things like innovation and entrepreneurship. You may have interest in some other areas that would be part of the potential RSE 3.0. And I'd say if you have any interest in participating in this, exploration of the organization, my contact information is here. I'll put my contact into the chat bar as well as a copy of this presentation. I think I can do that in WebEx. And I'd be happy to speak with any of you about this or talk about how you could get involved in the this fact-finding approach that we're going to do over the course of the remainder of the semester. So maybe I'll stop there and see if there are any questions or comments now or.
Any questions for, go ahead.
Stop sharing. There you go. I'm not hearing anything. Am I?
No, I'm not hearing anything either. But
Okay.
I'm gonna chime in. So one thing we could do that I was, I know you provided your contact information, but one thing we could do if it would make sense is I could put together. In fact, I have a little simple form here. If it would make sense, I'm happy to post something like this to our discussion forum, to our Discord. And if anybody, and RCOS would know, you guys know that anything you put in here, we will forward your email addresses to Don and RSE. Would that make sense? Is that something that you would be interested in doing?
Sure. So if you're asking me, well, I think that's a great forum, and if we even want to start a a way for us to share ideas on the platform, I'm happy to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly put a Discord channel in we can put an RSE channel in the Discord, and I can post this as well. And if there are any students that want to reach out or that are interested in discussing this, because quite honestly, this is an opportunity that I think is pretty impressive. I know some of Don's classmates or fellow brothers, and they're a really good group, and they've gone on to do some widely divergent things. So it's one of these things where getting providing feedback to them now as to things that you might find interesting or useful or fun. I think fun is maybe underrated sometimes. Could actually help us going forward. Anything else? Anybody have anything else they want to say? Okay. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll post this into our Discord, and we'll take a look at this in a couple of days and see how many of you have come up with it. I got Frank saying thank you for the presentation, but we'll pop this in there, and then we'll also start up. I'll ask Frank to start up a channel, please. Yeah, and invite. Can you invite Don Toma. And do you have any other names you would like to have invited?
I'll send you a list of three folks that we said. So when we finish up here, I'll put their or how do you want me to do it, Frank? Do you want me to do it in the chat bar? Or do you want me to send an email to?
You could send an email to Professor Turner.
I'll do that with the presentation. You'll have that to put in there.
Awesome. We'll set up a place for you to be able to chat.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to, as I said, intrude in on your meeting, and hopefully this will be of interest to some of you, and we'd love to get your input and feedback and interact with you on this. So thanks everybody. Thanks, Wes, again for allowing us time.
I'm kind of intrigued by the whole thing. It's not often that somebody comes to us and says, hey, we're thinking about changing our entire focus, and we want your opinions. That is a valuable.
It is pretty cool. It's like starting a business, right? We're starting something from scratch here, and we have, as I said when we started the company I'm with right now, we got a chance to do it right. So pay attention and really think through what you want to do here, because all the things you didn't like before you can fix now.
Yeah, and you're hitting all the right. Like we have a really good relationship with the Archer Center. We have a really good relationship with the Severino Center. You're hitting all the groups that we tend to deal with. So it seems like a really good fit. So I do appreciate your being willing to come and talk to us.
No, this is great. Appreciate the opportunity and look forward to talking with some of you.
Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We'll sign off then and let you get on with the normal business.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. I'm the little guy down in the corner. All right. We are off to Hunter now.
Like.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. So just some more reminders about workshops. Most of you are pretty familiar with this now, so I'll just give a brief summary. But basically, we've got some results or some submissions for the workshops. If you're a mentor, you have to submit one, so definitely make sure you're working on that. And then if you're a student, just start looking through the calendar and you can pick something to go to, because again, you also have to go to a workshop. On the next page, we have a list of the current proposed workshops from the mentors. We've got Introduction to Git Workflows for Beginners. We've got Creating a Discord Bot. We've got React.js, Documentation Tools, JavaScript, Overview of Creating a Language, and the Hacks Programming Language. We've got a whole bunch of good sounding topics. We can have a whole bunch more as well. Just make sure you're submitting that form. On the next slide, we have a link to that form. This has now been opened up to everyone, not just mentors, and it will also be sent into the RCOS Discord. Maybe someone will throw it in the chat. And then next on the next page, we have the calendar where we can find all these different workshops. I don't think this is auto-generated, so if you submit it, it may not show up there immediately, but eventually it probably will be auto-generated. So, but more or less, you'll find that there's actually stuff there now. If Professor Turner wants to click the link like he usually does, there's actually some stuff to show off there.
I love clicking links.
They are fun. But yeah, we have one, at least on the first page, we got one right at the bottom, Introduction to Git Workflows, and then a bunch more over in the March tab. Like all these.
Oh, I like that. I like the pop-ups. You guys do good work.
It's looking nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking nice. Otherwise, back on the slideshow, that actually concludes the workshops.
So I'm just going to toss out, because I have control of the keyboard. If you're a mentor and you don't know what to present, please contact us. We have topics. And if you are a project lead, particularly on a large or complex project, and you want to give a deep dive, there really aren't, there really aren't a lot of opportunities to do a deep dive, just a talk on your projects. And if you're trying to drum up support for next semester or pass along the torch or something, that would be a workshop would be a really good place to do a deep dive on a particular project or a particular technology that's needed for your project. So those are options you can consider as well. All right, Franks.
Okay. Yeah, so going forward, mentors, as was just discussed, look through the calendar, submit your workshop proposals. If you're interested in more than one topic, please submit multiple. And Hunter's right, they won't immediately show up on the calendar. We are manually putting those in. So also, if you see that your workshop has the wrong start date, let us know. That's just because I evidently I can't wrap my head around time. And as Professor Turner said, anyone is open to doing these workshops. They're, they're easy to do. You could even do them on Discord if you don't want to use WebEx. You'll be asked to record it yourself if that's the case. And you'll be limited to, I think, 25 people if you screen share, but a lot of possibilities with that. If you're not sure, if you're on the fence about doing a workshop or not, reach out to us. We're probably going to tell you yes, but we'll give you some guidance on that. Projects, again, make sure by now your mentor should have access to wherever you are meeting. If you have some external place you're meeting, this includes external projects. Let us know if there are any issues where mentors aren't allowed in external organizations, communication servers. I don't think that's come up yet. And members continue learning or working, and reach out to your mentors if you have blockers. A lot of the status updates were really quite good, really detailed. There were some detailed blockers for some of them. If you keep running into the same issues, please feel free to reach out to your mentors. They might not necessarily know exactly how to help, but their job is to at least be there to point you in the right direction or to point you to someone who might be able to help. Please make use of them. Otherwise, they'll have nothing to do except create status updates, and they probably don't want to just spend a semester doing that. So that's all. And of course, just a reminder of the same note from last meeting. Don't fear reaching out. Please reach out if you ever have any trouble. The goal of RCOS is not to have a working project. The goal of RCOS is to learn more. By the end of the semester, right? Know more than you did than when you started RCOS. So that's all. Feel free to reach out. We're going to be welcoming. If we're not, that's a problem with us, not with you. Next slide.
All right. I am going to throw out one more thing before we get going, before I get to attendance, and that is if you have a project that needs more people, and I'm not saying that you have to accept any more people, but the open source software class will be doing essentially their version of project pairing this Tuesday. So I've given them pointers to our slides so they could take a look at them, learn from them, and possibly reach out to you. But if you are specifically not wanting or wanting people, let me know. I can either downplay you or upplay you. Otherwise, I'm just going to ask that you be polite if people reach out to you. You don't have to take people. We certainly hope to have some new projects coming out of this. But yeah, and I like this. I like the main goal. Please try to make stuff work. Exactly. We don't try to fail. We do learn and we try to succeed. So anyway, if you have a project that is particularly full or particularly empty, just drop me a line and I'll mention it as part of the things that they should consider. All right, Venue. Hopefully all of you who are using Venue are now on Venue. I think we kind of got that working through. Let me give you the codes. Let's see. I have to be up here, I guess, and then I got to do that, and then I've got to go to Venue. So this is the 26th. Here is the magic code of despair, I guess. And if we go to Submittee, here's Submittee. And I go to the gradables. This is RCOS. I can resubmit my magic code of RSE Presents. Okay, so those are the two magic codes. Remember, you do have a status update due today. It's my bad that I forgot to open up the status update on that, but I did get your rainbow grades updated, and you should find that part. And that was what I did instead of getting the status update. That'll be opened in the next few minutes. Any questions? Anything else? Yeah, RSE presents like Christmas presents. I like that. That's like free as in free speech, not free beer. You would be surprised at how few software projects ever finish, because there's always something else you can do, even if you get to a usable, beautiful state. All right. If there's nothing else, can I copy paste the codes? I certainly can. At least I can copy paste the RSE present. Uh-oh. That wasn't good. There we go. I can copy paste the RSE code. And somehow that messed something up. On Submittee, it says the status update is due tomorrow. I think it says
I think it's the attendance.
the attendance is due tomorrow. I don't know what I did here. I'll go to this screen. All right. If there's no questions, nothing else going on, I think what I will do is stop this. There we go. And move that off my face. What we will do at this point is I'm going to quickly go over the first two slides again because I forgot to turn on the recording. But you guys are not required or even expected to kind of stick around. And then I will get the status update gradable done shortly. And yes, the status update will be due Monday at midnight, but I am opening it up immediately for you guys to submit. All right. All right. So just popping back through. Day 10, in case you guys missed it because I failed to start the tape. Your status updates are due. I'm going to open it up now, Friday. You need to submit it by Monday. Please use a format that we can use. We don't accept docx. We don't accept rich text format, and you guys aren't seeing that yet. There we go. We don't accept docx. We don't accept rich text format. We do accept restructured text or markdown. You can use up to 2 late days, right? So it's due Monday. We open it up today. Today's the start of the period. It's due by Monday at midnight, between Monday and Tuesday, and then you can use up to 2 days late. We're working on getting the first status update graded. Please don't wait too long. There's no reason to be losing points on status updates. We will tell you what you're doing wrong. Read the status update, read our comments, and then go out and fix it going forward so that you get full points. We drop 4, so if you messed up the first one or even the first 2, you're still in very good shape. There are 10 total through the semester. We only grade 6. Handbook has all of the grading stuff you need. Make sure that you have all of the sections that we ask for. Introduction, name and project. What you did this week, it should be a paragraph. What you're planning to do next week, it should be a paragraph. It can be a shorter paragraph. A blockers section, at least think about your blockers. And if you have none, tell us there are none, but we want to know that you thought about it. And the same with links. If you don't have any links, put down here no links to report, but we want you to have a links section, and we want to know that you actually thought about it, even on those times when you don't have anything. All right, and I think that's the other thing I talked about was EWSs and attendance are going out. They're if I didn't have an attendance for you, this is just a stopgap thing or a precautionary measure to make sure that we reach out to people who aren't showing up. It's been difficult with COVID and being online. And then with the EWSs, we're at meeting 8, I think. We dropped 2, and you can make up 2 more with a bonus session. So you can make up half of the meeting so far. So even if you missed everything, you're only going to, you still can make up even half of those without any extraordinary measures. Status updates, again, we dropped 4. So there's no way you're in bad shape right now. So just pay attention to the EWSs. If you haven't been contributing, just use this as the motivation to begin doing that. And with that, I'm going to stop the recording. Those of you who are watching this on video, I just ran through that pretty quickly because I forgot to start the recording at the start of the meeting today. All right.